Literally.
Jerry, you didn't say it loudly, but the word substantive stood out to me. You were engaging with the Raiders about giving something up substantive as it related to Max Crosby. Now, you don't have to tell me it is Max, but could you, one, why did you walk away from Max Crosby when it fell apart with the Ravens and not revisit that then?
We didn't.
Elaborate on that for
No,
me?
no, because there's nothing more to elaborate about. But we did not walk away. That's about all there is to say because, but we understood his injury well, and so uh, we thought he could help us then, and we're surprised the way that was resolved. But to basically take what happened with him after he came home from the back to the Rangers, to inject anything about what we're thinking or doing in because he went back to the Raiders would be a mistake.
Top of the afternoon, top of the afternoon, top of the hump day afternoon, y'all. It's the big three on the first day out. That's right, Cowboy fans. Training camp is back underway. We are back with football. I'm your host, B Jizzle. That's my girl, Kales. With some intel today, we got to pay attention in the nation's capital. And then my guy, Bob, the Cannabis Cowboy, tapping in from Colorado, baby. We are streaming from coast to coast. It is the big three. First day out, we have got a lot to cover today. But, Kels, how's the weather out in the nation's capital?
Pretty good. It's pretty good. It was sunny. Then the sun decided it wanted to take a nap. Then it will come right back out like it wanted to play,
Yeah. Little peekaboo, man. Seems like everybody's on fire or underwater or something, man. Like every time I see the news, it's like chaos everywhere. Tornadoes all over the country. Bob, what's going on in Colorado?
It's hot, man. It's really hot. And it's starting to get weird. It's starting to get humid, which I don't know how that's happening. We don't have any oceans around us. So I don't know. I think the wildfires from Canada are doing weird stuff to the climate. But it's super hot, man. I just can't get my house cool enough, man. I had to go sit in front of a portable AC before I got in the show because I was going to be all sweaty, looking all glistening for everybody.
You gotta get that old man fan going, huh? That old man fan. I'm with you. But we're streaming live on 3 platforms. Shout out to all of our folks on Build Different Group, all of our Green Bag supporters. You support the podcast. This big three is one of them. We appreciate your support. Shout out to everybody on LinkedIn, all the veterans at Military Creative Con, rather, on LinkedIn. We'll see y'all out there next May in Fort Worth. And then shout out to all of the subs. I know y'all are like the third, whatever leg here. Y'all never really get no love, but shout out to all of our subs on YouTube. But we're going to be more podcast centric because today is the first day out and camp started. But before we can even get into the camp stuff, Kelsey, and I know you got some intels to share with us today. How about James Slater pressing the issue, Jerry, right out the gate, asking him about the Max Crosby situation? Kels, what's your take on that?
Honest with you, I'm so over this whole Max Crosby stuff. I'm trying to be careful with what I want to say because this is not the platform for it. But yeah,
Jerry took a long pause. I seen that Jerry pause. He had that poker table pause, like we didn't. But anyway, Kels, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You said you're tired of the Max Crosby drama.
I'm over it. I really don't want him in Dallas for some other reasons, but I'm over it.
Yeah, Bob, what would you gather from that intel right there coming in with Jerry and what he had to say about Max Crosby?
If I'm being honest, I don't feel like we have any more interest in that player anymore. And I think Jerry is always trying to keep us in the forefront, in the spotlight with what could happen, what might happen. So him being vague after a long pause, I think was just another form of Jerry trying to keep us guessing, keeping unfortunately fans guessing, but also competition and everybody else as to what we may or may not be doing. I don't buy that we're still in the hunt for Max Crosby. We would have done it. We didn't get any more money. It's not like we're any richer than we were. We were trying to pursue him. So I think it was just a posturing thing and just something that Jerry does all the time. He doesn't really seem to be getting his nose into too much So what he does get his nose in, I think he still wants to have an impact with.
Yeah, I mean, Jane just went straight for. I was like, damn, Jane, let's get right to the point, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
And Jerry with that long pause, I was like, this don't look like it's in the script. But
he made it weird.
But Bobby also mentioned in the same breath that he just had a conversation with an owner, and I want to throw the ball to Kels because I want to see what you know about that, Kels. What's Jerry talking about? He just stirring the pot again. Which owner? Because is it the Raiders owner? Because Jane was like, you don't have to say it to Max Crosby. Which owner do you think it might be, or what's going on there, Kels?
It's either the Raiders or the Rams.
Yeah. Got to be defense, right? Because we don't need anybody on the offensive side of the ball per se, I would think.
Nah, we're pretty okay on the defense. On the offense.
Yeah. Bob, what you got? I mean, did you catch that too also where he's like, yeah, I like to stir it up sometimes, but I was just on the phone with an owner last night. But anyway, and then he keeps on going. I'm like, you're not stirring the pot, but you are.
I'm telling you, man, it's posturing. And look, even if it isn't, he's doing what he's got to do to make everybody guess and wonder. That's just the game that this organization plays a lot. And most teams, if I'm being honest, it's just one of those things. But I tell you what, man, if we are going after any players right now, man, I would rather them be a superstar cornerback than a superstar edge rusher. I'd rather a CB1 land in this team somehow, some way than have this edge rusher. The edge rusher can do a lot of great things, but it does not matter if a quarterback gets a pass off and your wide receiver is burning the cornerback. It does not matter what you've got going on the edge, even if you hit the quarterback. So I'm still worried about corners, man.
The defense was out there getting some turnovers today, Bob, and we got some clips on that. But I want to get to my girl, Kels. What kind of intels do you got coming in today on the FDO? The first day out?
Yes. So right now, let's talk about what we have in money. We currently have $5,498,404. Some money has not came in yet, but right now this is where we at. So we're the 30th in cap space. Well, we already talked. Did we talk about what was said yesterday?
No. I mean, outside other than the fact that Jerry was, no tampering on the Max Crosby situation.
Yeah. All right. So we listened to a little bit of what was said about that whole fiasco. He did mention the fact that even though it was a quiet, no drama off season, but they were still busy. We're not entering anything on PUP or NFI.
Yeah, that stood out when Steven said that. No PUP, no NFI. That means we're reporting relatively healthy to camp.
Right. So our former QB, Will Greer, he retired a little over 2 weeks ago. But he is joining the staff as an offensive assistant.
I always liked that guy. He was actually quite a decent quarterback, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, he was.
He just couldn't break through.
Yeah. One thing that Joy Hoyt did ask after Philly signed Jalen Carter to a 4-year, $152 million deal. Where does that leave as far as possible contract negotiations with Quinny and Williams?
Which I'm hearing he's at the top of the list.
Yes,
what's coming out on the media.
Exactly. So the quote was, we're very open to that. We want Quinny in here for a long haul. Have a lot of resources tied up with him. He's currently one of the best in the business. At the top of the list. Yeah, at the top of the list, people we want to keep around. If you don't know, he has a dynamic agent. I love her, Nicole Lynn from Clutch Sports. This is the same agent that Javonte Williams now has. She has a couple of people that's on the Cowboys roster, but definitely those two.
Oh, I thought you was going to say David Mulugeta.
Hell no.
Anyway, let me throw the ball back. Let me throw the ball back to Bob on that note.
Yes.
Yeah. So Jerry.
She has a nice roster throughout the whole sports world, from basketball, baseball, and in the NFL. This is an all black female sports agency. She's a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I love her. She is the biz.
Okay, we'll tell her we need to have her tap in over here, because I mean, all our contracts are done, Bob, and sightings of Pickens today at camp. I think you said you seen some. It looked like Pickens is putting it down at camp. No holding.
Yeah, I saw him. I saw him take one to the house. I mean, look, we're talking about no pad practice where people aren't supposed to hit you, and like they're just trying to see if you're getting angles to where you can hit somebody. And I saw one play where he absolutely ghosted and hit the end zone. So I'm not really, again, I don't think this offense is really anything we're going to worry about unless something happens out of our power and their power. Yeah. We should at least be able to expect the same repeat in offensive performance as last year. But Pickens looked good. I don't think anybody's going to come in looking not great. I'm actually really excited to see if Jaden Blue can do anything, if I'm being honest. We need a number 2 pretty bad. That guy's a good investment.
Glad you bring that up, because we got a clip, but I want to get to this comment. Shout out to B Mac. He says extending Quentin Williams will free up some more money. I think that's the next move. Well, of course, because Bob, did you know Quentin Williams? And I know Kels knows this. Q ain't never been to the playoffs.
Nope.
Well,
I mean, he was with the Jets.
But I'm just saying, talk about some incentive about an organization is publicly saying that they want to keep him around with the momentum that's going on. And we'll get back to that in a minute, but I think that's highly important going in, especially from the defensive side of the ball. But speaking of Blue, Bob, there was a highlight that came out. I heard that Phil Maffa had fumbled a play before, and then Blue was put in, and this is what happened.
Hey. That froze up.
Look at that breakaway speed.
Too fast, man.
I mean, that's got to be good news, especially coming out for the RB2, because we got to figure out this RB2 situation. It's a lot of.
You remember how it used to be, man? Remember you come in from depending on where you were picked. And I'm not trying to talk like an old man, because it wasn't that long ago when this happened. Kids come right out of college right now and start. It wasn't the way it used to be. You'd sit the bench. You'd at the very least learn the program, learn the system. I understand that nowadays that doesn't happen, because you can actually be there for 3 years and have 3 different coordinators and 3 different systems to try and learn. But Blue sat back and he had a little bit of action, made a little bit of a leeway when he had his chance to do his thing. But other than that, I think he's grinding hard to try and be this too. And he's got what we need, man. This that Deuce Vaughn kind of thing we kept trying to play with. I think this kid's it, man. And if we can get him in the open, we've got a good offensive line. If we can get him in the open, he could be dangerous.
Kay's tapping in, says, "Hey, Kale.
Hey, Kay, that's my boo."
Yeah, what you think about that Jaden Blue run to the house right there? Anything to be like, oh wow, yeah, he's gonna be RB2 for sure.
I need to see more. I can't say off of one play. I need to see more from Jaden Blue if he wants to secure a spot.
Of course. And then, we've heard him in the media too since then, after last season, admit that, hey, might not have got off on the best foot, so to speak, with the Cowboys. He kind of fixed that through the offseason. I think Shotty gave him some kudos as he came into OTAs. They said he had a new look, a new feel, like he's ready to work. And, maybe there's some good things there, but I don't think it helped Phil Maffa's case if that's the cat fumbling right before Blue goes in there talking about adding insult to injury. But coming into camp is very healthy for us this season. And I want to say that, Kels, when is the last time the Cowboys have started off camp without being on the PUP or the NFI?
It's been a minute. A long time.
Yeah, I remember everybody's talking about it. Bob, can you remember a time? I'm not too familiar. I think it's physically unable to perform and non-football something. Those 2 words are important in terms of our health.
I think we're just so used to having somebody in that situation bad. I think I think just honestly thought everybody in the league went through that, but that's not really the case. A lot of people going to camp pretty healthy. It's been a while since we've had everybody ready to roll. But again, I think something's different going on. And again, you can hear even some of the talking heads on these networks that don't want to say anything good about the Cowboys are at the very least cracking a smile and saying, yeah, I can't really ignore the fact that they're really loaded up right now. And they're probably solved the issues that they had last year, which was a bad defense. So I think most people are all in right now, man.
Yeah, and my only thing is like, to what you were saying, BG, as far as making a case between Blue and Maffa, we're looking at two different styles of running back. So it's hard to try to compare the two. Phil Maffa is more so of a power back, and he will bulldoze, whereas Blue, he's more of like a slot, and he's a speedster.
Correct. But in other news, there's QB4 coming out on the field for the first time, his 11th training camp, and he showed up to camp, Kels, with a Super Bowl 30 shirt on, and the internet's going crazy about that. How you feeling about your caramel macchiato? Because I know it's his birthday today. You want to give him a shout out?
Hey, whatever you need to, to motivate you, to get into a playoff run. Hey, I'm all for it. I'm like every team should have that type of motivation.
Right. It should be every team's goal, right, Bob? I mean, what's wrong with Dak showing up with a Super Bowl shirt on? I got the message. Like, I like that for my leader to show up sending subliminal shots.
Yeah, because what else is he going to do? Just say it and then have a clip go around making him look stupid? Look, I mean, I think it's just so hard for us to understand. These are just people playing sports, and they're doing what they do to kind of keep themselves, in the news. Dak does what he does as a leader to try and keep his team in the mindset of winning. Bro, I just see so many people that are finally admitting that this guy might not have played on the greatest teams, although he's played in some of the greatest teams the Dallas Cowboys have had. He hasn't exactly gone to the postseason for whatever reason. He's still a great quarterback and a great leader. With that guy, man, I don't know. That's the reason why people are like, get rid of him. Who the hell are you going to pick up? Who were you going to get in the last 5 years that was available that was going to do anything, that Dak couldn't do, that was already under contract? So, man, Dak doing what he does to keep his team motivated is great, man. He's a smart kid. He's a really, really good guy.
Yeah, definitely subliminal. But here's what Jerry had to say. Also, no alternative. Remember, we got all in and then, I don't know, buyback, or I don't know what the campaign was last year, but I got no alternative. And so for everybody that's running around saying the Cowboys are still in play for Max Crosby, like, y'all are part of the problem. Like, I don't understand what you look at. No alternative. What's that mean? What did Jerry say? He said, we don't have any alternative. Jones said, we made that bed when we brought in the new scheme, new coaches, new players. We're going what's new right here. I bought into that. That's going to happen. We're here now and dealing with it. We're going to start out here right now doing as best we can and bringing that to opening day. So I didn't gather that from the conference, Kels. Did you? That is Max Crosby still in play? I know we kind of opened up on that, but for all the, because I still see content creators, because Football Forever posted that, Max Crosby in a Cowboys uniform, that Jerry's still interested based on these remarks.
Yeah. Well, like I said, this ain't the platform to express how I truly and really feel about this whole Max Crosby situation. But the thing is, if the Raiders want to entertain any type of trade with any team that's in the NFL, you have to give something up. So let's say, okay, the Cowboys.
Well, Jerry's out here talking about these futures. What's he talking about? Oil shares, future draft picks? What's he talking about when he says future?
You'll have to get for Max Crosby. For one, I already know they need to see how he's going to play for at least a few games. We're not talking about preseason or training camp. Maybe 1 or 2 games. Now, here's the thing. If he enters the league and he balls out, and let's say if he gets 5.5 sacks, guess what happens? The value goes up. So if the Cowboys want to make a play for him, you're going to have to give up more than picks. they definitely need a wideout. They do not have a wide receiver, so you don't think that
I'm hearing George Pickens'
Raiders,
name attached to him.
Yeah,
like
you
we're
know,
and Jerry's out here saying we want him with us long term. Like I don't think we're getting the whole story here.
Yeah, so we're just playing the scenario game. They're going to ask for picks and everything. We have given up a lot of picks for 2027. And I'm gonna be real with you right now.
Yeah, so now is the time, right? Like we're all in, like no alternative. Like we want to live on what we got.
Right. So we've given up a nice little handful of 2027 picks.
So we essentially have no future. So Jerry just out here Jerry speak.
Right.
Listen, I got to tell you, I feel like Madden video games messed everybody up. I think people think they can just turn the salary cap off, and then we're just going to automatically start getting the greatest players in the NFL. Like, where are we getting this money?
You got a 98 rating. That don't mean
Kells just said we got $5 million. That guy wants like 30 or 40, doesn't he? I mean, where's the money coming from? Are y'all chipping in? I mean,
so that's why
I can't do the math on this.
So for it to make sense financially, you're going to have to give up all your picks for 2027, and you got to give up George Pickens because they do not have a wide receiver right now.
Well,
so who's Kirk Cousins or Fernando going to throw to?
Yeah, I hated how the pot gets stirred, and then I'm like, if you listen to the press conference, they didn't say anything about us still. Jerry said he talked to an owner, but he can't tell us who because it's tampering. But we'll keep this discussion going as we continue going. But in other news, Caleb Downs, our rookie, first-round pick, first day out at camp, recovers a fumble. Let's take a look at the Rook's first day out, and y'all give us your reactions in the comments below.
Ooh, who punched that out? Who's 7? Was that a?
Wait a minute, run that back.
Was that Rashawn Gary that punched that out?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Run it back.
Yeah, somebody raising their hand over there.
That was 7. I think that's Gary.
That's my friend brother.
That's got to be Gary, huh?
Yep. Speaking of, since we see him, PJ Locke, he exited out of practice today. There's no concerns. He went into the medical tent and he just
hold on. Who did what now?
PJ Locke.
Locke. Okay.
He was towards the end of that play.
So that's the turnover that everybody's talking about. Rashawn Gary had at camp today. He punched it out on the run there. Caleb Downs with the recovery. So, I mean, everything looks great, but I mean, I'm just happy football's back. I don't know about y'all. Football has been all over my timeline today. If everybody say football ain't back until preseason or the regular season, like, look, for me, kind of fan I am, I'm happy camp is back. Football's on my timeline. Bob, are you feeling about the same way?
I am, and I got big beef. I got a big problem. Continuously since April 30th of 2026 this year, Comcast has still not made the NFL Network available in Colorado.
It's here too. It's anybody who has the NFL package.
Actually, you know what? I think it may be everyone. Yeah, because I know people in different states have different cable providers, so they're getting it. Yeah. But I'm pissed off right now. And again, it's going to come down to the wire. I'm going to miss probably a lot of camp footage and stuff like that without having to go to YouTube, which I do anyway. That's going to be a little complicated. I'm a little mad, and all they're saying in the comments, if you go and check it out, they're basically just giving the same response to everybody. Sorry, we're not giving credits. We're waiting for this to get resolved before the start of the NFL year.
I worked for Comcast for 3 years. I saw cable at the door, and I actually watched the NFL Network start out at the starter level package, which was the basic package. And then eventually, as it moved up, it went to the middle package, and then it went to the prime package. Then it went to a solo by itself, and now it's been outpriced because why? Comcast don't want to pay the NFL all that money to stream their content now. And I think that's what it's about. So it's forcing you to go get it straight from NFL.com or other places, just like Red Zone.
I don't even think it's all of that. I'm not disagreeing with you. I think when ESPN did the acquisition of the NFL Network, the way that they rolled it out was not good because we had 2 years to prepare for this, which means ESPN had 2 years to get this NFL package together, because I took, like what Bob said, we have Xfinity, and at one time the NFL network was a part of your package. It was
Right.
one of the channels and everything, and then they took it off, and then it ended up, like you said, being like a premium, a prime package, so on and so forth. So they did not roll it out the way it was supposed to. It was poorly, it was a poor rollout. And then if you have not noticed, on July 21st, everything from the NFL fantasy has now converted over to ESPN. Yeah. So you have to go into your NFL fantasy app to convert all your teams or your leagues over to the ESPN fantasy app. Now, when you do that, if you already have your team set to like 10, let's say 8 or 10, it will still say you need X, Y, and Z more people to join your league. Well, when you get like 15 teams on the league, you really don't have that much to choose from when it comes to players.
Well, ESPN and NFL is definitely in bed together now. The result,
the whole rollout.
I'm so glad I'm on the ESPN app, baby. I started out on Yahoo,
but
and
it's
everybody's.
Crazy it's crazy on the ESPN app. On the ESPN app, because I only set my teams. I have like 5 or 6 teams. Leagues. Let's say that I have 5 or 6 leagues, and each league, I set only like 8 to 10 teams, and that gives each person that's in that league a good number and a good variety of players to pick from. From their starting to their bench, so on and so forth. But two of my leagues is already full, but it's saying that I need to add more people.
Well, in other news, the Tony Romo video came out today, and Romo didn't pass the test. I don't know if you two seen it. I seen a little bit of the clips. We talked about this the other day, but I after watching the little clips I seen, I'm like, well, where is he really all that intoxicated while he was operating? So I don't know, Bob, what's your thoughts on it? Did you see any of that video or not?
I just saw a little bit of it. I did hear him talk. It didn't seem like he was drunk, but listen, you sober up pretty quick when a cop's talking to you, and so there's that. But they went and they gave him the breathalyzer, right, or whatever test that he made him take, and he didn't pass it. So that's how that goes, man. And I don't think that happens to you if you didn't drink anything.
Yeah, Kels, did you happen to see any of that video today at all, or no?
I saw, and the only thing I said, he's no longer a part of the Dallas Cowboys. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I think CBS said that they was not going to fire him, so I mean, he wasn't too worried about that. I think it's $1,000 fine. But anyway, on to other.
It's off season. I mean, granted, I wish he wasn't behind the wheel. It's off season. Drink up.
Yeah, they're going to slap him on the wrist and let him roll.
Well, in other news, we had, it seems like now that Tyler Smith is a fixture to kick off camp. And, last year he was like, why can't we win the Super Bowl? It's unbelievable for the Dallas Cowboys to win the Super Bowl, but he kind of had that same energy. But here's a minute long clip. I want y'all to listen to how he opened up and what he had to say. I'm like, all right, big fella, it looks like he's growing into that leadership role there on that offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
No audio.
We have no audio.
Oh, well, damn. Y'all have me doing that the whole time and there was no audio? What happened?
Yeah, and I said it.
I thought I heard you say it, but then let me try this again. All right, let's back it up. What about now?
Nope. There we go. Nope.
Is it working?
No.
Well, interesting. All right. We'll get off of that technical difficulty right there, and we'll get back to the discussion. But other than that, if you're tapping in on any of the 3 channels, let us know where you're tapping in from. Did you happen to see any of the highlights today at camp? Do you got questions for us here on the panel today as the Cowboys are officially underway on their first practice on the first day out? Is there any other intels, Kels, coming in?
Yeah, well,
we didn't get shared yet?
Well, until we, get the audio straight as far as with Tyler Smith, Shotty did confirm that Tyler Smith will start at left guard, but will still get reps at left tackle along with Nate Thomas and Tyler Guyton.
Yeah, I know, Calvin. I think Clarence Hill was asking that question, is where his position was going to be at. And he was like, yeah, Shotty said, basically it's Shotty's call per se. And so, okay.
Yeah.
B-Mac down here saying he failed because he refused to take the breathalyzer. That's a big difference between anything else. And that's probably legally what most people should do. You've got to figure out how to get past a blood test or whatever else they give you later. But if he failed because he refused to take the test, that's a horse of a different color. That's not even close to a guilty or anything like that. So we'll see how that rolls.
Yeah. So one of the things today that Shotty did do, he did reveal the Cowboys Leadership Council, which has 11 members, of course, QB1, Lamb, Tyler Smith, Tyler Booker, Jake Ferguson, Javonte Williams, Quinion Williams, Kenny Clark, Rashawn Gary, Jalen Thompson, and Brian Anger.
I got to tell you, I love what Schottenheimer brings when he's got such a casual way of coaching this team and handling these press conferences. It's just, I know it seems effortless, but really the thing is he doesn't make big deals about things that aren't big deals. And he seems to be the kind of person that won't put your shit out on TV land and will take care of it behind the scenes like you're supposed to do.
Yeah, he did that with Cavante Turpin last season. Remember, with the weed and the pistol? That was kind of brushed up. We thought everybody would explode on that. And, I even heard the clip where Cavante had said that, he came to me like a man, spoke to me like a man, and, we kept it moving. And I was like, ooh, that's a little different in Dallas.
Yeah.
He's different. He just makes me feel good, man.
Yeah. And one thing that Shotty also said with the recent retirement of
Will Greer,
our special teams core, CJ Goodwin, he asked who was going to serve as the North Star of the special teams unit. He said the names he mentioned were Big Body Brev, which is Brevin Spanford, Hunter Lipke, and Ryan Flournoy. Although he did acknowledge it's getting more difficult to let Flournoy contribute on special teams with how good he has been producing on the offensive side of the ball.
Speaking of the offensive side of the ball, let's see if we can get this clip back up and see if we can get it going. I don't know what happened with the volume. I just restarted the whole page, so let's see what happens here.
About how it feels.
Can you hear me now?
Veteran and
yes,
part of some of these younger guys who are just getting their first go with this.
I mean, it's really cool. Obviously, it's a blessing and a privilege, be able to play the game. Every year is a blessing. You never know which one could be your last. But I think the biggest thing that imparted upon them is just continuing to adhere to the process. I mean, in football, everything is process oriented. You go through off season, you're training. You go through the season, you're training. You go through training camp. You're just trying to build upon everything that you've done all year. And so I just say with them, just keep the main thing, take it one day at a time, and just continue to get better. Continue to help your brother get better. Continue to put in the extra work that, it always takes to get better. So that's the one thing I would say.
What excites you about this camp compared to past camps? I know it's new year, but is there something different about this year that?
I mean, obviously, I think we made a lot of acquisitions in the offseason, particularly on defense. And I think it's going to pay dividends. I think we got a lot of young guys just going through OTAs that I've seen that have a lot of juice. Mm-hmm. I think we've made some great additions in terms of our edge groups, in terms of our interior D-line, and a lot of other positions too. And I think that's going to show up. So I think, the iron sharpening iron in the trenches will be very prevalent this training camp.
Iron sharpening iron. Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Bob, what's your thoughts when you hear that?
That's good stuff, man. That's an offensive line saying that kind of stuff because that's where it all begins. And we put together different offensive lines over the years after the 2016, 2017 season, and we've had a lot of weird offensive lines. This seems to be a really, really legit and sturdy version of an offensive line you want to hear a guy talk like that. You want to hear him. He's a dog, man. It
sounds like we got a bunch of T's on the line now. It's like Tyler Guyton, Tyler Smith, Terrence Booker or Tyler Booker, Terrence Steele. Oh, you got the middle guy, Cooper Beebe, but a whole bunch of T's on the front of the line. Kills, what's your thoughts about hearing iron sharpen iron and keeping the main thing the main thing?
Only thing I can say as far as Tyler Smith, I've met him, been around him. He is a good, solid dude. I honestly can't see him not wearing the captain's patch. He wore it. He was the captain for the season last year. I can see him doing it again for the second year in a row. Yeah, and hopefully by him also taking some reps as a left tackle. I really want him to stay at guard. But hopefully he could help with Tyler Smith, because like I said, not Tyler Smith, I'm sorry, Tyler Guyton, because he's definitely playing out of his position. He is definitely a solidified right tackle. But Shotty did say what Tyler Guyton needs to improve on to be a more reliable LT. He said fundamentals. He's one of the most talented athletes he's ever been around. But he said the feet, ability to move, the size, but it's a process. When you're in and out of the lineup, it's hard to find that consistency. Shotty did say a couple of things. He said, as far as the defense, he said he's not going to overload Caleb Downs this season. He's very good with diagnosing the offense and everything, so he's not going to overload him because he wants him to sustain the durability of the season. Shotty announced that the team will be having more padded practices for 7-on-7 and 9-on-7 training. He declared that the team needs to build some calluses in preparation for the season. He is not a fan of the 7-on-7, which is a fast-paced, non-contact passing game featuring no linemen, a 4-second pass clock, and 2 20-minute halves. But they will be doing that along with the 7-on-7, which is a full contact practice session focusing on run blocking, stopping the run between the tackles. It features 2 offensive players, a lineman, tight ends, and backs against 7 defensive players, which is the linemen and the linebackers, omitting wide receivers and the secondary cornerback. There was something, I have to replay his press conference, but he did mention something, how the practice is going to be for this year.
Shotty?
It's like, yeah. Shotty mentioned that the practice is going to run for an hour and a half. They're going to have a couple of days where there is no practice. It's going to be a lot of team building and a lot of meetings as far as when it comes to like how the schemes and the playbooks is going to be. So I do have some information about the playbook, but we can get to that in a few minutes.
Yeah. Because Bob, like what you said, it's a difference between not being in pads and in pads. And it sounds like Shotty wants to be in more pads. But Sterling brings up a great question. One of our Green Bay supporters here, he says, what everyone thought on QB2 battle? Because rumored we're only keeping 2 QBs. I don't know. Hold that thought, Kels, because I want you to answer to that. But I think it's Will Greer. I think Will Greer's been Will Greer.
He's retired.
He came in as a coach. That's right. I'm saying, oh boy, we signed from Washington. What's his name?
Sam Howell.
I think Sam Howell got it wrapped up. That guy's been a starter. That's my take on it. I like Joe Milton and all, but I mean, Sam Howell's been a starter, and I think it's his to win. And I think they're leaning into that because he's a veteran. Plus, he's been a starter versus not Joe. Bob, what's your thoughts?
I think Todd Archer was the first person to bring this up. There's a couple of people who talked about this in the news, and I don't think it's anything other than because someone brought it up, because that's the part of the season we're in right now, is speculation season. So it could just be something that people are talking about. It makes a little bit of sense because we don't think that Milton's the future. We definitely think Sam Howell can do what he can do as a QB2.
He's a formidable backup for Dak. I mean, the guy started in the league. I mean, I'd rather lean on him. I like Joe Milton, but
he murked us.
He murked us for real.
I was there.
Yeah, I think maybe that's the reason why we're hearing about this, though, is because they say that it makes more sense to just keep 2. That way you can stock up on another position, put another person in another position. So, I mean, again, I think that makes sense. But you run into an issue, too, if things go bad.
Is that what you're hearing, Kels? We're going to scale only to 2, or are we going to keep 3?
this is what I'm thinking. Last year, we carried all 3 quarterbacks on the 53-man roster. I think we're going to go back to the rule when it was established in 2024, where you had 2 QBs in the emergency QB 3. That won't count against the 53-man roster.
Okay. Yeah,
So
Milton will probably be relegated to a practice squad in some way, or that if that goes down, because we're not investing in another quarterback.
No, the thing is, he don't have to be on a practice squad, because if he goes on a practice squad, that he's open for any team to get him.
Right.
It's just that he'll still travel with the team as an emergency QB3, but the way that will happen, and God forbid, let's say if both QBs go out, then that means,
because I thought we had like a whole person on a practice squad as an emergency activator or something like that.
No, he's the thing is, he's not on the practice squad.
No, I know, but I'm saying I thought there was that the year that San Francisco depleted all 4 of their quarterbacks, they created some rule that we had to have some emergency guy on the practice squad to activate for. I thought we talked about that over a couple of years ago.
That's how the rule came to be, because all their quarterbacks went out, and then they put Christian McCaffrey in, because Christian McCaffrey
was a quarterback.
Used to play
quarterback.
Used to play quarterback. But I forgot who the quarterback was, but he was able to get back into the game. So that's how the QB3 emergency came to be. And it does
that's it. The emergency QB. Yeah.
It does not count against the 53-man roster. He will travel. QB3 will travel with the team. The only way that he can be operated is if both of the quarterbacks come out of a game. They have to put in, let's say, another personnel player who has specialties in a quarterback, and he has to finish out the game. Now, when it comes to the next game, if both quarterbacks are out, then the QB3 will be activated.
Well, talking about QBs, because you alluded to that initially on the beginning of the show, Kels, Will Grier, no longer a player, now hired by the Cowboys as a coach. What's up with that? What can you tell us about that?
So one thing that, hold on, Shadi did say, hold on, let me go through my notes. He said that he feels that the new QB offensive, he feels that Will Grier being the new offensive assistant, he will make an outstanding coach. He also added that he'll probably be calling plays in this league in the next 6 to 8 years. So to me, it's almost like he's getting his foot in the door when it comes to coaching. Play.
They don't have anything to do with chemistry between him and Dak. It seemed like they've had good chemistry before. I remember when Will Grier had a career day, Dak was on the microphone calling the plays.
Dak schemed up some good plays for him. So I think this is a good way. And this is what I hope. And the Cowboys has been doing this for a while now. And I hope a lot of teams, I know some teams are doing it, but I hope a lot of teams, especially when players they want to come back to the team, as like a fellowship or mentorship, if they don't want to go into the media world, but they want to get like some coaching experience, that they will take them in as a mentor or a fellowship, so they could get some coaching under their skin. So whether they go into high school or college level or in the pros level, they will have those skills to do it. So
Bob, what's your thoughts on Will Grier coming back to the establishment?
Dallas likes keeping ex-players in their coaching room. If they were able to control them as a player, they're going to be able to do it as a coach, definitely. So that's been the motivation of the past. I don't know if that's the motivation from here on out, but I think, like I said, he alone was a serviceable backup quarterback. I thought he was good. I actually know somebody who's related to him. I'll have to dig in on that, because I remember them mentioning, hey, do you know this weird Will Grier? I'm like, yeah, I'm a Cowboys fan. Like, oh, my friend's his cousin or something. But anyway, I think it's good to have those kinds of players in the system. They're Cowboys players. You know what I mean? They've been in the organization. They'll be able to champion the brand. and they'll be able to keep people in line with what the team wants them to do. So I think Will Greer is just one of those guys.
Leon Lett was good for that team when he was there. I think he left after the McCarthy era or the Jason Garrett, but he's been with that team, or especially on defense, for a minute.
Oh yeah.
And
well, if you just got questions for the crew, let us know before we get out of here. First day out, training camp. All of the highlights that we've shared have been placed on Build Different Group. Appreciate all of our supporters on Build Different Group, all of our green badges. Y'all have been the first to know. Like, we're all the way booked up on Fanatic through the month of August. So if you want to support the content, you can do that. Hit the subscribe button down there below. So special shout out to all of our supporters. Kels, I seen you've been scooting around out there. You was at the DMV Creator Con or something like that. Tell us about what happened out there in DC. I see you plug old Bob and I up with some green folks out there. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. So this past Saturday, I was invited to the DMV Content Con. This is the first annual event that CKB Studios and Next to Flex Sports podcast put together. I've met so many different content creators and podcasters that was there. They had vendors and everything. So shout out to CKB Studios, Next to Flex Sportcast for putting on an amazing event. I can't wait for next year. So yeah, that's where I was.
I thought that was pretty cool, Bob. I got a follow from a couple folks out there in the DMV. I seen Kels was hooking us up with the people out there in the DMV. Did they have those types of events out there in Colorado at all? Because I was happy to see the one out there in DMV, because I went to my first military creator con this year. Do they have anything like that out there in Denver? For
years, they actually had a Cowboys club out here that would take over a very well-known downtown Denver bar. I think it was called Jackson's.
Yeah.
And they took that over for years. My wife and I were able to go there, I think, 2 years in a row, way back in the day. And I think that just disappeared. Again, Broncos fans and Cowboys fans do not get along. I blame it more on Denver fans than I do Cowboy fans. But it's one of those things where they wanted the spotlight back when Dallas had it. So there's a lot of friction there. But, I don't know, man. That's an odd situation.
Yeah.
Got a question coming in from the audience, Kels. Sterling says, what about our guys' thoughts on safety? Not really particularly sure specifically what you mean, but I mean, what's the first thing that comes to mind when I know you shared that the DBs are in question, Bob?
Well, the corners are, if anything.
Okay.
I know for a fact that the safeties for the Dallas Cowboys last year were dead last in every statistic. Were probably the worst safeties, and they basically knew that all you had to do was throw it against the safeties and they were going to score on it.
Right.
But the corners held a little bit more than the safeties did, but we made safety changes. We got a lot of safeties now, so they didn't do that for cornerbacks. So again, my hands are thrown in the air. I think safety changes have been made, and I think who's there right now, obviously Caleb and folks, they're going to be good. PJ Locke, there's dudes back there that are good. So we're going to be all right, I think.
I agree. I think anybody that played in Flus was a victim to whatever. But because we had too high, in our safety.
Bad leader. Yeah. Flush Uber Flus.
And even if that wasn't said, when you look
it's sad because he was good here first go round. Then he came here and it was like, dude, are you asleep at the wheel? Like, what's going on?
Exactly. When you look at our secondary room, especially when it came to the safeties, we majority had 2 high shell safeties, but you're doing a lot of plays that are 1 shell safety.
Yeah,
that's not what we're doing. And case in point, the Christmas game, you had Donovan Wilson on a Debo Samuel. You gonna let Dono do a single high shell safety scheme on Debo Samuels, and he wrecked Dono's head so crazy his helmet came off, and when he got up, he was in a daze. So with this unit under Ryan Smith, because he's going to be working a lot with the safeties. By us having now Caleb Downs, it gives a Jalen Thompson, a PJ Lott, a Malik Hooker, and the rest of the safeties all the free range to do whatever they want, so Caleb Downs can do what he has to do.
Well, we're going to see against these first practices that's coming up against these other teams like the Rams and those folks like that. We're going to get a good look because, in out of pads, it looks one way, but I like the fact that Shotty's pushing for more pads because that gets players more in that game, in that game frame of mind and hitting up on each other because we know they're limited. We talked about that on previous shows, but
so I do have some nice little intel for y'all.
Okay.
That was actually sitting in my email.
Coming around turn, what we got coming in the intel.
So this is a little bit of the Cowboys playbook. So for defense, we all know we are going to be doing a 3-4 base formation by nature, but we will be incorporating a lot of shifts that will go into the 4-3 spacing, the 4-2-5 nickel packages, and various odd and even downline looks, which is 4 down, 5 down, and 6 down presentations, which is known also as the 6-1. When it comes to the run defense, Parker is going to instruct the defensive linemen to stay square and attack blocks using the gap and a half approach rather than the blindly penetrating single gaps. The front 6-7 to handle run fits without relying heavily on safeties. We talked about this before when we got Christian Parker. There will be a lot of disguised coverages and pressures. One thing that Vic Fangio did say that Christian Parker did a lot of the game planning for the Eagles when he was with them. Parker does rely on post snaps rotation and split field coverages, which is quarters, palms, and of course the one I love, the cover 6, and stimulated pressures with a 4-man rush and disrupt the quarterback's processing. Instead of relying on traditional high-risk blitzes. So basically, if you want to cliff note it, as far as disguises, the pre-snap is going to be totally different from the post-snaps.
Good. Yeah, people ain't going to be able to line up and just figure, all right, we're going that way, and then we can't stop it.
Exactly. So he's definitely going to value the nickel and star position. For our defense, hold on, which is asking them to single slot, which is asking them to handle slot coverage, play physical run fits in the box, and threaten as an edge rusher. Okay, so we already went through that. So the offense. Under Coach Shotty as well as Clayton Adams, they definitely going to heavily rely on the 11 personnel groupings, continuity and coaching staff, and pass heavy attack anchored by the star playmakers. The 11 personnel is 1 running back, 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers. It's a bucking the league wide trend. A lot of teams use that. The Cowboys deploys 3 receiver sets at a very high rate, over 66% of the time, ranking near the top of the NFL efficiency out of this formation throughout the entire NFL. Core weaponry. The passing attacks is built around QB1, top tier receiver Lamb and Pickens, as well as the tight end, which we know as Fergie. Get ready for the WR3. Ron Flournoy, which is stepping into
I thought he was already
role.
designated. I thought he's already designated.
We don't know, but we don't know, but we know. He's going to step into expanded full-time role as the primary third receiver to keep 3 wide sets opponent. Okay, so here's some good fun information. Don't be surprised to see the 13 personnel, which is an offensive grouping featuring 1 running back and 3 tight ends. I think we talked about that on the last show we did.
Jumbo sets.
Yeah, so it's 1 running back, 3 tight ends, leaving 1 wide receiver, and or the 22 personnel, which includes 2 running backs, 2 tight ends, and 1 wide receiver. The 22 personnel is also known as the jumbo or heavy set package. Expect a lot of rushing attacks and backfield rotations. Some of the ones they're going to do as far as with the league back, JW33, he's going to return as the primary RB1. Complementary roles, Jaden Blue is integrated to lighten Williams' workload, operating as a change of pace runner and a prominent pass catcher out of the backfield. I'm thinking that's only because they're still going to be hybriding Lemke as a fullback as well as a tight end. You're going to see a lot of explosive play focus. This scheme aims to improve on low explosive run rates from previous years, utilizing Blue in open field speed or what we call space. We already
like that play today. He got his space.
Exactly. So I already mentioned that the first full padded practice is on August 4th at 11:45 a.m.
next Tuesday
Pacific Standard Time, which is what, 2:00 my time, 2:45 my time.
What time PST you said?
11:45 a.m.
Yeah, it's gonna be like almost 3.
Yeah,
2:45 your time. So, but I had a question though about when it comes to wide receiver, and there's some other questions. We're gonna get to these comments here. Let me talk to Bob. I think after day 1. And BMAX says, Kales, any idea about the green dot situation? I don't think we're going to see anything on that until we get into padded later, after we get into some practices against some other teams, and also maybe or preseason games, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like normally, is there like a time, Kales, that we're normally saying, all right, you got the green dot, or is that when the season starts?
Not only for the Cowboys, I say for any team, especially any team fan base, definitely look at the final preseason game, because that's normally like your dress rehearsal of what the season is going to look like. So if D Winters is going to get some preseason reps, you'll probably see him with the green dot helmet. You're probably going to see Jashawn Barham with the green dot. Maybe Caleb Downs.
So it's a community, or what do they say, running back by community?
Yeah. So this
green dot by community. There we go, Bob.
So I mean the committee. Yeah.
So if you see, let's say D Winters wearing the green dot helmet more, especially on that last preseason game, that's basically going to tell you who's going to be wearing that green dot helmet.
So we'll be looking for more of that information towards that last game. Let's get to these wide receivers, because I think I put in the group chat. I mean, how many normally wide receivers are we carrying? 4, 5, 6? Because with this wide receiver 3 and Kavontae Turpin on special teams, BMAX got a question for you. Bob says, do you think Trayshawn Holden makes this roster? I know he was trying to make it last year.
Yeah, I think we're all most of us fighting for him. I don't know. I mean, the thing is that we finally have some good coaching on this team where they can actually evaluate players in a more successful way. So if he doesn't make it, he gets beat out by someone who's better. Isn't that how it's supposed to work?
But I mean, how many are we going to carry? Because I thought we carried like 5 or 6.
I would at least obviously the 1 through 5 that we've got to have. Which I think 5 we don't have to have, but then you want an alternative or 2 for anything wacky. And then anyone who's going to be in special teams solely as a wide receiver too, I think you want to keep that. So I think 6, maybe 7. I don't know about 7 being. I think 7 is kind of a high number, but
I think 6 is right around there, but maybe 5. I don't know. Kales, how many wide receivers are we normally carrying on the roster?
I'm about to give you. I was counting. Hold on, lost my count. Hold on.
Because I mean, I know we got like 14, 50, 11 of them right now.
Yeah,
and I know that's going to get down to like 5, and a lot of that's going to have to do with like what Bob's talking about with special teams. And so I thought that, you know, I had maybe heard the establishment already say Ryan Flournoy was designated wide receiver 3. Plus, you still got Kevontae Turpin who plays special teams, and he's not 1, 2, or 3 if that's the case. So there lies it's going to be a lot of competition. So how many are we going to be carrying?
I'm counting 13. We got,
that's how many we have now. I'm talking about on the active roster in the season.
Oh, active. Sometimes 6. I think last year we carried 6 on a roster. But what a lot of people need to realize, even though it's a 53-man roster, when it's game day, only 48 dress.
All right. Speaking of roster, we got 91 folks on the roster right now. This is the first day out. You know, there are going to be many shows. We're going to have the Big 3. We're going to be live here, pregame and postgame shows. You know, my girl Kels is always going to be bringing the intels. Bob's going to be bringing, you know, his intel out there from Colorado too, and all his years of wisdom. Did you figure out who that person was from a while ago, Bob, that you said you knew that you were going to dig in the files? Because I know you know a lot of people.
No, didn't come to me. It didn't come to me.
But anyway, we appreciate everybody tapping in. And yeah, we'll definitely be live here. We got Fanatic Podcast coming up on Monday. We'll be live with the 2024 International Fan of the Year and Dallas Cowboys Fan of the Year. He won 2 awards. Shout out to Lalito Flores out there in Mexico. So we got some podcasts. I've seen you recommend your guy too as well, Kills. I got all season. I'm going to have a Fanatic Podcast for every week of the season. So we're going to have about 18 different guests. We got August full right now, but I'm excited getting into August that we've already got that book. And plus we got football back. So any words of wisdom, any other intel before we get out of here tonight, Kills?
B Mac had a question. I was trying to read it. I think as far as Schoonmaker got to make the roster this year. It's a lot of pressure on that cat. Yeah, Scooney.
He on the last year of his rookie deal.
Yeah. Trick. The only thing with Trick, I know people keep talking about his blocking, but the thing is, he's more of a red zone threat tight end. But he also
how does he block though? Because with these jumbo sets, I mean, that should have something to do with who these tight ends are going to be blocking.
Brev and Princeton Fan is more of the blocking TEs that we have on our team. Yeah. Trig is like one of those little what you call it, doppelganger
gadget guy. Yeah, he's a gadget guy.
The gadget guy.
Yeah.
So he's more so good for red zone threats because he could be sitting on the edge as a tight end, but he's going to come out maybe on a wide out position and get the ball as a receiver. So he's one of those little shifty gadget type of tight ends. Yeah, so I'm not so much worried as far as blocking, because let's say if they put Trig in to a set, they could put Big Body Brev or Hunter Lemke with him.
Yeah, we're gonna have to pay attention to it. So great question there, Bob.
That's right. Hunter also blocks. He also blocks.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about jumbo sets. These tight ends, whoever going to make the squad, going to have to be able to block, which we know Ferg can do because he's wide receiver 1. But all these other guys, I think it's Schoonmaker's spot to lose. Any words of wisdom before we get out of here in Colorado today, Bob?
Tight end, Jake Ferguson in the new Madden 27 is going to be an 82 overall. They've got Ferguson.
Okay.
Fergie's at an 82. They're listing Schoonmaker as a 69 and Spanford is a 65, and all the way at the bottom is Mike Trigg at 63. So he's got the catching for all of them is basically between 77 and 80. So I mean, again, this is a video game. So, but what I'm saying is that's also a larger view on they go deep into statistics. So they're not just making numbers up. They're pulling that from somewhere, and they know that there's a huge distance between Fergie and Schoonmaker. So
and the thing with Schooney, what a lot of people also got to look at, if they're into like the logistics, which is like contracts, the way that his contract is, like, this is his last year, they can basically release him. I don't think it's not
Yeah,
that
somebody
much
going to
trade.
whoever getting released going to practice squad. About 50, 11 gonna go to practice
Yeah,
squad.
but no, I'm talking about a full release. Like he's not even coming to a practice squad of the because the way that his contract is, I think he has a year voided. So they can just automatically release him. It's not going to take a lot of money out as far as the salary cap. And plus, if we release him at a certain day, that actually cushions and bring more money in to our pot. So that's one of the things that you have to look out as far as that. And BMAC did say something when we was talking about how Shotty is going to do the practices. So one of the practice, it may not be a full team, it could just be a practice because like now everything because of the new CBA, which is the collective bargaining agreement. The NFL,
yeah, they can only practice and pad so much. They can only do so much in limited time frames.
Right, and even with the certain, even if the padded or non-padded practices, I think it's 2 practice games or 2 practice days or something like that, but it's 90 minutes, which is an hour and a half. But there's a way that you could finagle a lot of that stuff. So Shotty did say that they're going to have some practices where it's just going to be like the offensive line is going to be practices with just the defensive line. It's going to be other practices with just the wide receivers. But he did mention something that he is going to incorporate this year only red zone offense practices. So I don't know which, like when you go to training camp, I cannot tell you which days.
We got like 50, 11 more days in training camp, and so we'll be able to put it all together. And today was the first day with the Big 3, so we appreciate all 3 channels checking in. The Big 3 is out of here. Make sure and stay in the know. If you want to know when we're going live, just on Built Different Group, look at the event section, like for all of our podcasts and all of our shows. That'll tell you when to tap in. Don't wait on the notifications. We know they don't work. We'll see y'all in the gym on the next video.
Yeah, my name is Eduardo Flores. I am from Mexico City.
How was that event for you with Roger Goodell?
It was amazing. To have the opportunity to ask a question to Roger Goodell is something that you never expect to happen. So I wasn't expecting a month ago that I'll be in front of the commissioner of the NFL asking a question. So.
Well, I think Roger has a few extra words he would like to share with you today. Roger?
Eduardo.
Hi.
Congratulations on everything you've achieved. I
Thank you so
heard
much.
your story about how you started the Dallas Cowboys fan club down in
Yeah.
Mexico, and you lost your dad.
Yeah.
And I can relate to that. But we're so proud of you and what you've done. So guess what? You're the international inaugural fan of the year. Congratulations.
Oh my God.
So proud of you.
Thank you so much.
You did great.
Thank you so much.
Congrats.